Hiya, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we're in the Citroen again, and I've actually got another set of headlight bulbs to test. And the reason is, it isn't because there's anything wrong with the Auxitos. In fact, the Auxitos that I've currently got in are excellent, but these keep on getting suggested to me. These are a different type of bulb, and I'll show you them. Yes, they're fucking massive. But yeah, these are a different type of bulb, and as you can see, now these are reflector headlights on this, which means it's hard to get a good beam pattern with LED bulbs, even though, well, this is the beam pattern of the Auxitos, which, as you can see, is a good beam pattern. But these are actually projector bulbs. These are projector lights that you put inside your light. So now, this makes the beam, rather than the reflector of the headlight makes the beam. So the idea is that you're actually putting a whole new light unit inside your light unit, and it's technically okay for an MOT. Which I would argue that that is the case. I mean, I would be happy as an MOT tester with that being a projector light inside a reflector housing, because it's not using reflector housing to make the actual beam. Even though the decent bulbs that we've seen make a good beam pattern. Anyway, let's put these in and compare them to these Auxitos I've got in. Yes. Right, so first I need to remove the bulb that is currently in there. And as you can see from its absolutely spectacular design, the Auxito bulb fits in the exact same manner as a normal H4 bulb. Which, looking at the size of the new one, I don't think that's going to do, but we'll see. Let's try and put it in. And it is in fact the case that it doesn't just throw in. What we need to do first is we need to unplug this. It should just simply unplug like it's doing there. And then this should unscrew. Yes. And the reason is because if you don't take that off, then you can't put the clip on to hold the bulb in. Hence the partial disassembler being required to fit the bulb. It just about fits into the actual headlight, the hole in the headlight. And then now, put that through there like that. And then I should be able to clip this down. Yes. And then hopefully, should be able to put this rubber johnny back on. Like so. Followed by the heatsink. Until that is tight. And then we just plug this back in, which will only go in one way. Awesome. And then it's just a simple case of plugging that into the wiring of the car. Like so. And now, as you can see, that is installed. And we can compare it to the other one. But the main comparison where you're going to notice the difference is when it's turned on, because that is now a projector light, so the output is small, whereas that is a reflector which is reflecting off the back of the headlight, and as you can see, the output area is much bigger. And that is actually an argument for these being a better design than these, for not dazzling people, even though these give it a brilliant beam pattern. And I've actually driven towards this car with these lights in at night, and it doesn't dazzle you. But that is something that has been pointed out to me numerous times about this sort of light in a reflector light unit. And it's probably the reason why they're an MOT fail, because there is a lot of crap ones about that will dazzle everybody and not show you where you're even going. Right, so anyway, I need to compare this light to this light. I am expecting this one to have a better beam pattern than this one. I mean, this has got a really good, it's as good as an halogen light bulb in the same light unit. But this is a projector, and projector lights do usually have a very crisp beam pattern, which you just can't get with reflector lights no matter what bulbs you put in them. So I'm expecting it to have a really good beam pattern, but is the output actually going to be any good? So I'm going to wait for it to go dark, which is going to take a while, because now we are approaching, well, that day that we call summer, so it's getting lighter at night, so I'll have to wait until night time, and I'll come back then. And here we are at night. Yes. So I don't know if it's picking that up on the camera, but the new light, the projector style light, it's good actually. It is actually really good, but it's not as good as the Auxito, I have to say. Now the beam pattern is nice and crisp, as you would expect with the projector light. Put it on main beam, and the beam is good. It's a little bit patchy actually on main beam. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but it is a bit patchy. It is decent, but if I have to nitpick, it sort of shines a lot more in front of the car, and it's like a triangle coming from the car at the floor. I don't know if you can see that. Overall, it's very intense at that point and then spreads out a little bit. But I'm not disappointed with them. You know, for the price of them, I will be using them. I'll put them in the Mrs. C1 because they are massively better than halogen lights. But I do have to say, especially on main beam as well, the Auxito definitely wins it. I mean, if we're comparing lights for brightness, they're the spotlights I fitted, which are obviously sort of like dwarf everything else. But yeah, I think that shows us where we're up to. So I think that's it for this one. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the usual stuff, and see you next time.